Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, my friend was getting the bonuses, and they skipped one tiny line.
And it was like, after Daddy hangs up, I realise that I'm in trouble. Oh, gosh, Luke, my dad is coming home. What do I have to do?
Relax, burn. Here, drink a glass of cranberry juice. The vitamin C will make you pee. Oh, and wash your face with cold water. Yeah, eye drops are good too. It might help a little.
Okay, I will try. I gulp down a glass of cranberry juice and wash my face. This is so specific. Person who wrote this, have you done weed before?
Or maybe they just researched. Maybe they looked it up.
Maybe.
Or they might have done it. A lot of people do, as far as I know.
It's not...
It's not illegal.
Depending on where you live.
Depending on where you live. It's starting to become less and less illegal, which is great.
Which is great, because we should really decriminalize a lot of drugs and honestly make a lot of them legal so we can just go get treatment.
And then release everybody who was criminalized for drugs.
No shit!
Yes.
Stop encouraging prison slave labor, because that's what they are. Luke offers to walk me home, but I say no. I don't want Daddy to see me hanging out with Luke.
And it might take us an entire hour to walk home to my house next door.
I know that I'm still not entirely sober. It's a little hard.
Whoa, things are still funny.
It's still a little
runny funny.
little uplifted. But the thing is like I've always said, theoretically on weed, like truly, it just relaxes you. It's not about like where alcohol, which I definitely can say that I've done, for people who are in different, states
I've
or
done
whatever.
alcohol.
I've done alcohol, because it is a drug, but alcohol depresses you. Weed does not. It's not the same kind of thing at all.
Anyway.
As I know that I'm not entirely sober, but different people react to it differently. So if you are going to theoretically try anything, do it with a friend.
Yeah, be safe and careful.
Be careful. Be in a safe environment. Watch yourself.
I mean, even without it being recreational drugs, I have known enough people in my life on medications for various things.
Oh, God,
and when their medications get changed or, shifted in any way, when they try a new medication, there can be a hugely unexpected response, whether it's allergic or whether it's neurological or whether it's just chemical in some way, where they're like, this might be a really ordinary medication, but I don't know how I'm reacting to it yet, so I should do it in a safe place with somebody else when I don't have any large expectations of me right away.
Yes, and also not where you're basically trying to perform for a lot of people socially. So, like that one thing that I've mentioned before about, like, I feel like in the US, there's a lot of kids who feel a pressure to perform when they're 21, and they go, now I can drink! And everybody, for example, goes out to these big, huge parties, stereotypically. I would say avoid that, so you can basically sort of figure out how you react to it, and also, again, no pressure to perform. You don't have to worry about everybody, including all of your friends, and looking like a certain way, etc., etc.
You can do it.
I know that I'm still not entirely sober. I'm starting to worry. Oh, God. Really? Okay, I'm starting to worry.
Be able to have a real ass panic attack on a contact hat. I don't know. Maybe on a contact hat you still could, but if you were truly high, I doubt you could have a panic attack.
Like, I get what, like, in my experience, the thing that I ran into when people would theoretically have a panic attack because of weed was because, one, they smoked way too much of it, so you basically overload your system because, by the way, there is actually a limit to how much your body wants to take in, and two, it was the fact that, like, they were paranoid because they were going to go see other people, and they were afraid that people would realize that they were high. So that's why they're always like, if you're going to do this, don't do this before any big event where you have to present in a certain fashion.
So we know people's experiences can be different. Let's find out about Vern.
I know. I'm starting to worry more and more. I feel like I'm having a panic attack and I don't know what to do. I do my best to walk normally.
Okay. Has anyone ever had problems walking normally on weed? Because I have seen a lot of high people in my life. Honestly, by virtue of working in manufacturing, which is really funny because that's where I saw them, I've never seen any problems with walking.
I never have either.
All right, anyway.
But it might be, again, that hyper overcompensating. What am I doing? I have to know exactly what I'm doing. I have to make sure I present exactly. And yet, I bumped into some paintings that Dad brought home yesterday. Shoot! Oh my goodness! I remember that those paintings are very important. Some people are going to buy them. Like, I'm really, like, sometimes I feel like people mix up weed with alcohol, so I don't know.
Drunk.
It's fine.
This sounds more drunk to me.
This sounds more like drunk. I fumble for my phone. I try to call anyone. they might be able to help me. But again, like, based off of what I have seen with other people overreacting to it, they can, in some way, appear to do this based on what I saw, because they're basically freaking out going, I need to appear in a certain fashion.
And they're just basically they're just panicking anyway and going, well, I must be having side effects that I need to compensate for.
Right, and they keep overreacting, and you're like, whoa, just chill. Just chill. Like,
bring it down and you'll be fine.
Your whole chill was actually right there. It was right there. I tried to call anyone that might be able to help me, but I can't think of anyone.
Can't remember how my phone works.
Oh, God, we're not going to call... I can't think of anyone. We're not going to call anyone. Don't call Alex. If you can't think of anyone, we're not going to call Alex.
You're unable to call him, but dials him.
Yeah.
He just gets a phone call from Bern, yells into Bern's pants for a little while. It's fine.
I love it when I've had people butt dial me. I've been kind of sad because it hasn't happened as phones have gotten better and better. But I remember when I used to get butt dialed. A lot! And most of the time I have to say that I've largely gotten butt dialed by my mom, and it's been really awkward.
It's so bad.
Maybe inviting someone would just make the situation worse.
Actually, that has nothing to do with that. If you literally can't think of anyone, then you're still grasping. It's fine.
It's fine. What should I do? Suddenly I hear the sound of a car pulling into the driveway!
Not Daddy's car. A car!
Wow! Oh my goodness! It must be Daddy!
Because he drives a car!
However, Alex shows up instead.
Even though we didn't call him, he's here.
Oh.
Because this is magical boy experience.
However, Alex shows up... What? Alex?
I'm really confused too. Oh my god.
Evil.
I know, evil Phoenix.
Evil Phoenix.
Evil Phoenix.
Evil Ellis. Evil Phoenix.
Oh god. I mean, Ellis isn't Phoenix, so evil Phoenix. All right.
Evil Phoenix.
Hey, is everything okay? The front door was open, and by that I mean unlatched, and by that I mean you're really unsafe, aren't
you? Are you stalking me? Because why else would you know that the front door was open? I was swinging by your house. Why?
I just was driving through this neighborhood, and I happened to see light was pouring out your front door.
Like, if we're gonna go for the paranoid person who's high, they'd be, were you stalking me?
Are you stalking me?
Alex notices that my eyes are red. And I'm acting weird. Oh my god. I am instantly high.
Also, your contact high is complete baller high.
Like, unless he's got some wild... Like, he knows how to hotbox really well.
The whole house is a hotbox. He opens the door. Smoke comes pouring out. Shaking with the rhythm of the, of the music.
Flashing with the lights.
Whoa. It looks worse. It looks better and worse than any club you've ever been to.
I don't think I've ever theoretically had an experience where my eyes ended up being red, ever.
It doesn't matter. It's stereotypical that it happens.
I know, and it's annoying.
All right.
And also, it's stereotypical when it happens when you're drunk, too. Have you noticed?
Really?
Yeah.
Red eyes when
like
you're
the
drunk?
red face and the red eye. Well, I've seen it.
I've seen the red face and nose, but never the eyes.
Yeah, because you're muggy. Alex notices that my eyes are red and I'm acting weird. I mean, that's not like the most common one, but I have seen it.
I've noticed that he's noticed this. How did you notice that he noticed this while you're panicking?
What are you doing here?
You've decided that he noticed because, you're like, he knows! That's what that was.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't actually know that he knows at all. I just missed you. Bern, are you high?
You're the worst high person I have ever seen.
You are a disaster.
How did you know? Bad at lying.
How did you? No. For God's sake, Bern. I didn't know you smoked. We could have done that together. I mean, what have you done?
I'm morally superior
You're
to
not
you.
supposed to be using drugs unsupervised, and definitely without not having a good time.
Like me.
Like with me.
Do you know why they call it a whiskey dick, sir?
Different kinds of a good time there.
I also, I have to tell you, being high is very not conducive to being horny.
Being high is not sexy.
It's really not.
I don't actually know, but
that's fine. Well, because you're super relaxed. So if it's all about, building tension, you can...
Okay, so only tantric sex, which is not about tension.
I explain everything to Alex.
It's really funny and scary at once.
I don't know what to do, Alex. My dad was so angry at me, like he was going to be angry at me about the alcohol and the rape. I mean,
Alex, do you know that your hair looks funny?
Your hair is very funny. Also, do you know that people who have red hair and blue eyes is like the rarest hair and eye type, like genome like combination ever?
You know they say that, but actually, since albinism is rarer than redheads, white or cream-colored hair and red eyes is rarer.
Which is totally fine.
But no one talks about that because they're going, well, those aren't real colors. Those are lack of color, which is still a color because you don't call white paper uncolored.
No shit.
Anyway, so angry.
You're so angry. Even though, like, technically,
Gently, like, whoa, like doing that, like the calming gesture with the hands, like, all right, calm down, like just, I will handle this for you. I'll figure something out.
Wait, please help me. I've got nothing. Is the door closed?
You said the door was open. Is it open
anymore? Where? Why is the gate? The gate to the house open. Is everything open? Burn is swung closed on its own.
One, you don't actually live on an estate, so you don't have a house gate. Yeah. I have a house gate.
What?
You're thinking of
I
my
have a
house.
tiny one. It's very small for little cars.
And I'm parked in part of your driveway.
In your little car?
And the gate, if you had one, would be open so your dad can come home without being suspicious.
No, I'm talking about the gate that goes in for the walk with
And
the
your
little cars.
And your front door is closed.
Is it really closed?
I latched it.
Are you sure?
Would you like to check with
Yes!
me? All right.
I'm certain that I hear my dad's car pulling into the garage.
I run over the door to make sure it's closed. Bonk.
My dad's coming! Slams the door in his face. Alex helps me fix my hair.
Why was your hair a mess? What? Smoking weed messes up your hair. Canon, freshman fantasies.
Honestly, it's...
All right, kids, don't do drugs. It will ruin your beautiful hair.
If you ever went out, don't do drugs.
If you've ever done glorious things to your hair, never smoke weed. It will ruin your hair.
Right.
This is the game. All right. I honestly, is there any way to make that sort of like a horror scenario, like you breathe with your hair kind of thing, so it starts just fluffing out to catch more? And so like in this world, canonically, some people's hair is messed up.
Right.
On the other hand, if you are a ghost, so if Byrne is a ghost, which going with our headcanon, right? Then there's that thing of going, you've done your hair and all that, but then, you're subject to like the wafting and movement of smoke.
Right.
Because it's part of like the air current kind of thing.
Right.
So it just, your hair is kind of like slowly joining the smoke, and then it's ruined.
All right.
Shoot, you are way too high. There's not a lot I can do about your eyes.
Yeah, you can. Cut onions.
What if you've been crying?
I just said...
Have you been crying, Bun? I think you've been crying a lot.
Cutting onions?
Hi. Man, what in the world? Sweetie?
Daddy looks mortified when he sees his paintings lying on the ground. Some of them are ruined. But
I bump into them. Oh no, they're important. It didn't say we knocked them down.
And like stepped on them, or stepped through them, or they were so heavy.
Or they were still
They stabbed.
Wet. He moved them while they were wet.
He sounds like a fucking irresponsible painter.
Also, like,
what?
I mean, can you imagine, Byrne? I bump into them, and by bump into them, you mean crash through them. And just like a character in a video game that can't go actually around objects, you sort of slowly clip through the paintings and tearing them with your feet and stumbling over them, falling on the other side, standing up, and then you stand up and you look and you're like, the paintings!
They have been bumped!
What happened? I bumped into them, but that's the only thing I comprehend. So, those are important! You see them destroyed on the floor. They're just important!
Some of them are ruined!
I'm sorry, sir. It's all my fault. I came barging in and ruined... who are you? And why are you here alone with my personal daughter?
That I explain. I was
playing around with me, and we accidentally bumped into your paintings, like good children do when they're being, responsible and respectable.
God, that
playing because we're children.
Playing to that stereotype that children are completely irresponsible and don't know their own limitations, and that if children are aware and if they are engaged in their reality, and I really do mean that, because it does take time. That all children are stupid no matter what age they are,
and they will make a mess, and they will break things, and it's terrible.
That I feel very bad about for your young relatives, where they were being judged very heavily by someone going, no, they're so young, and I'm like, they're 13 and 14 fucking years old.
They're gonna break things. Oh my god, what kind of people? Why would they break things?
They just touch everything and break it all. I'm like, what?
They have collectibles themselves. They're kind of weebs, So, like,
Chill?
they're not going to break your stuff because they don't want their stuff broken.
It was just so, like, long, prolonged, like
let me
texting conversation.
placate you, let me, like, encourage you, let me tell you that the young relatives that I am familiar with do not break people's shit.
Yeah, right?
Right. Playing around with me, and we accidentally bumped slightly into your paintings. They're just mashed and destroyed. It's all completely my fault, sir.
You're wearing a suit, sir. I don't believe you, child.
Do you have any idea how much they cost? And by that, I mean how much I would sell them for.
Especially because, like, you just made them. They're not worth anything until you sell them.
I mean, you could say how much they cost, whatever the materials cost, for sure.
Yes.
If he's buying really expensive specific canvases, if he's putting very expensive materials down on them, and it's not only just, like paint, not that some paints can't be super expensive, because some can.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was going to say, but he's allowed to buy all the colors, unlike
Especially
some people.
if you're Anish Kapoor.
I was going to say, yes. I say, they're not very expensive, because, then you can buy them, because people make pigments, and it's lovely.
Right.
All right, anyway, let's see. How much they cost?
I know. I'm so sorry.
Dad reaches out a hand. Pep, I'm sorry. Sir, I'm willing to buy them all. They already have buyers.
They already have buyers.
Just name your price.
Daddy glares angrily at Alex and then at me. Honestly, that's very silly. Also, I'd be like, for me, based off of what I have seen, I know this might be me assuming, but I'm like, if somebody is really, like, invested, I am a painter, you know how to correct and fix your own fucking canvases.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the thing is it depends on how much they were worth, but there's a lot of art restoration and repair that can be done.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. Now, if the paintings were wet and they're smeared to hell...
But I want to know why the fuck they would be.
There's no reason they should be wet.
Why would you be transporting them around and putting them in odd corners?
Right.
And also basically not in, like, climate-controlled areas.
If it's a stack of paintings that are down on the floor...
That especially
they're not very likely to be damaged.
That's weird.
Unless he's massively irresponsible, but if he's been raising a child, that seems unlikely, especially since he has a separate studio, so he had to be able to, like, transport them first.
Right?
Anyway, this sounds wild.
Glares angry at Alex. So the reason we're also picking at this is because my friend is a painter.
And I do traditional art on canvas.
Yes.
And I've done things that are also collage, and I've done layered paint, and I've done things that are mixed media, and I've used really expensive canvases, and I've also repaired ones that I've torn or damaged, or that I bought secondhand that were torn or damaged. Sometimes people will be like, I'm getting rid of this old thing because it was destroyed. And you're like, there's only a few tears in it, I can repair that. Like, canvases are cloth, and so sometimes they can actually be darned or stitched, or if you want to do an overlay or any kind of, like, collage thing, or, you want to put stuff onto them, which can also be considered collage, but, like, if it's chunky, maybe you think of something else.
Right.
I say then you can cover those, but also you can just seal them with more paint as well.
That's very... I'm also just like, you can do a layering thing where people will actually be like, here's, like, basically extra canvas that you can go purchase.
There's a lot
or, like,
of
you can
different
cut
ways
clothing
to do it.
and sort of, like, actually repair it from behind and use specific types of glues. Like, there are ways to do it, and this is very silly.
We actually watch an art restorer on YouTube,
Oh!
and he shows a lot of it too.
What is it? Beaumonter Institute? I can't remember.
I think it's Beaumont Institute.
Beaumont Institute? I
believe so. Anyway.
It's really cool art restoration. I really like watching it work.
All right.
It's super great.
I'm so disappointed in you, Byrne. You've ruined and sold my paintings.
Daddy leaves. Just leaves. And we hear the engine of his car.
Whoa. That sounds weird.
Cry instantly in Alex's arms! I'm finally starting to realize what I've done!
Maybe your dad seems sort of like a drama queen? Maybe your dad needs some time to calm down. Eh?
Honestly, I'm really surprised he didn't go take a bath.
You swinging into him, bonk him! Your head is buried in my chest. Picks up one hand. There.
Whoa.
Maybe your dad just needs some time to calm down. Like, you're touching me rather than me controlling the situation. Whoa.
Honestly, I have disliked that so strongly sometimes, where people are like, the only time I will let you touch me is when I'm touching you. And it feels controlling. And I get, like, people having comfort levels, and I understand that, but that requires, like, more communication rather than just going, like, don't touch me. But then when I want to touch you, I'll touch you as much as I want. But I will deny.
And you also only touch me under, basically, my dictation and direction. It's never a sharing experience.
Yes.
It's always directed by them.
Right. Time to calm down.
It really is. There. You're fine with me now.
The sweat drop.
He's like, I do not know. What are the comfort words? Pulls out his phone from his pocket. There.
I keep on wailing as I hug Alex tightly. I'm so
Wales
high.
in British.
This feels like the longest night ever. I don't know how long I sleep for. I mean, you're really relaxed. Honestly, I would imagine that you would sleep for as long as you feel.
Unless you lost your high through panic, and then you're not relaxed anymore.
Yeah. But for a brief moment, everything feels like it went back to normal. Oh, right. Daddy is angry at me. I completely regret getting high.
And then I got high.
And then I got high. And Snoop Dogg got high. I thought it would help me get away from my troubles.
But it only made more troubles.
I never expected that it would only add to my problems, except you never said you specifically actually did pot while you were there. You
But
just got a contact
stayed.
high.
I stayed there and I didn't leave. Okay, my dude, you're not guaranteed to get a contact high at all. So
that's why we were joking.
I
Like,
also
did he hotbox the whole fucking house?
So I was thinking about this game recently, and I know this is near the end of the episode, so I'm going to try and wrap this up here. And I was thinking about how the protagonist, how there's two very strong different interpretations of this protagonist. One being that sort of she's a disaster, and she's a mess, and she's just disorganized, and she's irresponsible, and she's sort of self-centered, and kind of just, basically, wishy-washy, and just basically doesn't have a lot of depth, and is that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, basically, that she's being profoundly traumatized, that she's really stressed out, that her life is out of her hands, and that the whole narrative, basically, you have no control. But it occurs to me that it also seems like the narrative is basically victim blaming.
Yes,
That
there's
it
a lot of it.
really seems like every time something happens to you that didn't go well, it's your fault. Well, you got sexually assaulted because you drank. You drank because you weren't basically assertive enough, or you did not go to a risky situation. You disobeyed your dad and went to a party you weren't supposed to go to. And it almost seems like there's this level of moral punishment and judgment of going, well, you did stupid things, so you got punished for it. And I don't know that the narrative is wholly there, because it doesn't fit as well with all the guys being assholes.
God, yeah.
But it really is kind of uncomfortable to me how much they're like, and this is your fault. And even Byrne goes, and this is my fault, in a lot of cases, where when someone makes what could be determined as a mistake, where you could also just say they made a choice and it didn't turn out well. A lot of times people say, oh, you made a mistake. It's like, I made a choice, and I learned the results of that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've never done that before, you learn. That's how you learn, by making choices. They're not necessarily mistakes. They're just experiences, and you didn't like that particular experience. So I dislike the dichotomy of, well, it's either right or it's a mistake.
Right?
I say, but I feel like this game really is that going that direction of going, don't be like this person. Also, men will always have to rescue you.
It's also really sad, because to me it feels really aggressive towards basically young women.
It does.
Kind of like young women or girls, or because I really don't know how old this character is. Like, they said that they're over 18.
But
I'm
under
just
21.
But under 21. And I'm just like, this is so terrible, because for me it kind of reminds me, sometimes where I've read some authors and I'm just like, you just seem like you hate every single woman that comes in here, and you're just like, the men have to put up with all these stupid ass women, but what you all want to write is a heterosexual romance. You want to do the heterosexual fandom thing, and then you just keep reinforcing into the heterosexual fandom experience.
I don't want it to be
abusive, stupid wife who's submissive, or this girl is a disaster and the men all have to fix her, and they're always
men are so annoying. I mean, girls are so annoying. Men just have to take care of them.
Right?
And anyway, so that's this episode, apparently.
All right, well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. If you're having a good time with us, please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We have some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!